Welcome everyone to part 9 of Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past DX. In the last episode, we beat the Dark Palace. And by the way, this is the trick in question that if you go all the way to the other side of the Dark World for, probably the alternate place where the Ice Rod was, Sahasrara will have a tile right next to a goddamn spike where you will need the cape just to go over there to just for him to tell you to use either the ice rod or ether and then use the hammer to break it open. By the way, I skipped this place in the last part for a reason. All this is where hearts were. That's it. Nothing more. So that's why I skipped this place altogether. But speaking of things I skipped that I shouldn't have, remember when I went there and showed off the Palace of the Dark Swords? Well, Palace of the Four Swords, sorry. There was a piece of heart right next to it. That palace was never there in the original, but that piece of heart was always there. But there is something we need to do first. And that is, where are you going, Pasty? Don't worry about getting the hammers first. If you're breaking the stakes, go back. Go back. Thank you. The stakes is basically there for you to actually go to the next area. And the rest of the not Outworld, I meant Dark World, sorry. Why am I thinking Outworld? Anyway, going through the rest of Dark World. And now, oh shit. Of course I get hit while I'm trying to lift up a damn brick. Or rock, if you will. Now, see that arrow there? That's supposed to be for after we beat the second palace. Because originally, what you're supposed to do is get to the second palace, beat the second palace, and use the hook shot over to the skulls. You don't have to do that, and I'll show you why in part 11. But for right now, I need some potion now. Look at my hearts. I'm down to 4. The enemies hit really hard for no freaking reason. Oh wait, yeah, there is a reason. I'm in uncharted territory. It's the Dark World, of course. But yeah, I lost the ferry on the way up there. So with that said, we just need to lift up this block right here. Funny how the Power Gloves is actually going to be your go-to place to going through the entirety of the Dark World until you get the Titansmith. And believe it or not, it's going to be your go-to place to actually try to break into Thieves Town or Village of Outcast very early. So with that said, let's go on ahead and throw this into the puddle with the rocks in. And this catfish will get pissed off that you threw a stone at him, so he throws the Quake Medallion. And that is actually going to be something useful. Well, actually, it's going to be useful altogether because it'll turn enemies into onions. But at the exact same time, it's going to be useful for other reasons. Oh, trust and believe, I'm going to abuse the hell out of Quake in Thieves Town. Of that, I'm certain. But for now, we've got other things to do. So that means we're gonna have to, what am I gonna do now? Oh, right, we need to collect some more hearts, cause, yeah, 10 ain't enough, even though the enemies are still gonna hit me harder regardless of how much hearts I have, still, 10 ain't enough. So, with that said, there is a place we need to go. And before anything else, we're gonna have to go to the south end. Because guess what? Outworld is not Outworld. Well, I might as well say Outworld is discombobulated. But Dark World it's discombobulated to the point where not everything connects. There are certain ways you could go in via the light world, and there are certain ways you could travel naturally to the dark world. It's one big loop, but there's a closed off loop. That's all I need to say about that. Now, that house up there, that's our house in the dark world. But it's not necessarily our house. The Super Bomb Boy lives there. Do we even need to get there? No, not right now. Not until we beat the 5th palace. As I've already stated, you just need to beat the 5th palace in order to get the Super Bomb. But there is something we can do, though. Talk to the trees. The trees will actually give you some sort of advice. Some of them do. Some of them will just shoot a bomb at you and tell you to go screw yourself. One of the ways that you can tell the difference between a tree you've talked to and a tree you haven't, you can tell by the way their eyes look. The trees that look to the left or right do not want to talk to you. The trees that look forward do. So on that note, there are going to be some trees that don't even have eyes at all. And even then, they don't drop fruit. I should warn you about that too. Some of the trees do drop fruit, some of them don't. So, this is the guy that tells you about the trees being connected, not the trees, but the portals being connected to the Lost Wood. So you practically have to cheat through the Lost, not cheat, but basically use the Dark World to get through to the Lost Worlds just to get through Thieves Town for the time being. Because, again, you're going to need the Titansmith. There's a black block blocking the way. And speaking of blocking the way, oh, damn it. Speaking of blocking the way, you're also going to probably need the flute to navigate throughout the entirety of the light world. So, you will be given the shovel that he will lend, quotation marks, yes, quotation marks indeed. He will lend you that. But at the exact same time, you're not gonna be able to give it back to him. Hold on a minute. I have the Moon Pearl. I have the Moon Pearl. Why is it a question mark? I just realized that. Oh, and by the way, if you get the flute boy disappears, and it goes straight into the Dark World, where you just recently found him. So, on that note, to anybody who's wondering, oh wait, there's the Moon Pearl. So what in the hell is that question mark? I'm pretty sure we only got one more item left. It's not the tunic. So what in God's green earth is it? Ah, it must be something else. So we're gonna have to play the flute for him one last time, and as we play the flute for the flute boy, he turns into a tree. No, seriously, that's starting to irk my nerves. What the hell was that? Oh, I think that might be something to do with probably the 4 swords being completed or something like that. I don't know. I'll worry about that later. But for now, we've got other things to do. Now that we've got the flute, now, or ocarina if you will, now we could go over to the Village of Outcasts. That room right there, this right here is where you're going to get most of your rupees if you're a good enough shot. I'm not going to show that off because I'm not a good enough shot. And by the way, that is leading to the digging game. Don't even worry about trying to come in through that way. You're gonna have to pay. You You have no choice but to pay 80 rupees. But I will say this, while I do pay 80 rupees just so that I can dig, chances are I'm going to end up with more than that by the time I'm done trying to get my hands on the heart piece that's here. And mind you, it won't show up on the first try. It won't show up on the second. It won't show up on the third. It'll show up probably on the fourth and fifth try, depending on if you've dug 25 or 30 holes or not. And even then, that's not a guarantee. So yeah, this is an RNG heart and probably one of the worst hearts in the game to get. At least I worked my money back. So yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'll be right back, and hopefully when I get to the heart. Alright, we're back and we got the heart piece right at the last 3 seconds. By the way, this was the 12th attempt in case you're wondering. So at least we don't have to do this ever again. Well, actually, if you're following along, you don't have to do this again and you managed to do it like less than 12, by all means put it in the comment section below. More than 12, put it in the comment section below. As for me, yeah, I can't really go past that point because there are 2 areas where the Titansmith is needed. So, to remedy this problem, there's something we can do. As a matter of fact, we can use the magic mirror at this point right here and go straight into the light world. We need to do this anyway because our magic meter won't be up to snuff for now. In fact, it won't be up to snuff for the remaining castles in the game. No, seriously. Definitely not up to stuff for the 7th castle. Oh no, we're gonna fix that little problem right now. And in order for us to do that, there was an area where we needed to fall into a cavern. And we couldn't do that. The reason being is because we didn't have this. Now we can. But first, let's also equip our magic powder. We're gonna need that. So once we hear, there is going to be a statue with a goblet. Throw the magic powder in, and you will find this demon here waiting for you, who at first sounds threatening and menacing, but he's actually pretty kind. But what he thinks is he dropped the potential of your magic by half. What he did was drop the usage by half, meaning that you will be able to use more magic as opposed to the magic actually being weaker. So, yeah. This guy literally just gave you the means to pretty much beat the game with magic-based items. Hilarious, but just downright sad. Oh, but there's a reason why we're also here. Well, I wouldn't want to talk to this guy, but he actually talks about a guy who has animals around him playing the flute. And I wanted to try to play that flute, but I couldn't, because I thought it was an Easter egg. Apparently, this Easter egg only is for the old man in the tavern. You don't have to play that for him. As a matter of fact, once you get the flute, you can just simply skip the old man in the tavern and just basically go get the flute bird. But you play the flute you play the flute for the old man, and you have to tell him the truth that his son died into the dark world and became a tree. He is Groot, except he's not living at all. So yeah, time to free our flute bird, and the means for us to travel throughout the entirety of the light world actually, and technically leading into areas in the dark world. Because there are certain points where the flute bird can go that you can fly into that you're going to actually need to go to, because here's the thing, there's certain areas in the Dark World you can't reach without the flute bird. So thankfully I managed to get that settled. And by the way, that tree that those lumberjacks were cutting, after you beat Aghanim, it'll be available, and there's a heart piece right there. You know, the downside is that this game does not allow you to heal every time you pick up a heart piece, which is strange because in the Super Nintendo version, every time you picked up a heart piece, it healed you. And yet, Legend of Zelda Minish Cap actually did do something of that nature. But enough about that. We're back into the Dark World, and we managed to get to the Dark World this time by accessing the castle. Yes, and we walked all the way around. You don't have to necessarily do that. There is a way to the Dark World where those statues were in Lake Hylia. All you have to do is just hit the spikes, and if you want to, the block, with a hammer, and that's it. But the reason why I'm here is something completely different. It's this right here. This will be the last medallion of the game, and probably one of the better ones, and goddamn, you're gonna need it. Specifically for the 5th Palace. But this will be your bread and butter right here, tearing through multiple enemies. The Bombos Medallion. God have mercy. This is an awesome medallion. Ether is good. Bombos is good. Quake, situational. That's all you need to know. And by the way, it was around that time my controllers for my PC decide to die. That's not the only thing that died. As of this recording, if I haven't put it on an update, my PS4 got the blue light of death. It is no longer functional. The engine died. So, there's not much I could say. It was on its last legs anyway. I might have to get a new PS4, but yeah, it kind of sucks that that happened. Especially since we're literally nearing the end of Persona 5 Royal. Everything you see up until like a certain point has already been set to upload. But the thing of the matter is, it happened like the last couple of parts, like 111 was the last part that you see. That happened right before the PS4 was dead for good. By the way, this area, this is where you get one of the many big rupees in the Dark World. Do we really need them? By the end of part 12, or at the beginning of part 12 and part 11, no we do not. And I just put a bomb there for no freaking reason. So basically what's down here, you got a big 300 rupee and at least 80 rupees here. So yeah, you're walking away with 380 rupees from that one area alone. By the way, I have a magic mirror here. And what we're going to do with this magic mirror, we're going to... Oh wait, I actually used the magic mirror for a reason. The reason being is you have to come into the light world in Kakariko Village in order for you to break the spikes and also lift up the rock to uncover the warp right there. And this is basically how you're going to get the magic tape. Well, early. Technically, you can wait on it, and you can just go to Thieves Town, as it's called here in the Game Boy Advance, or Gargoyle Domain, as it's officially called in the NES. And you could just go in and get the Titansmith, lift up the rock, and then not only get the blacksmith that's on the other side, but also get, oh god, I forgot there's thieves here! Fuck! Ah, damn it. Of course there's thieves here. Why wouldn't there be? Oh, and in case you think you're gonna break the game, haha, good luck, you can't. That's the only way you can get in. So, with that said, this area is where you're gonna buy the Village of Outcasts is where you're gonna buy a new shield, just in case a shield eater, or dig dogger if you will, or a like eat your shield. Until that is, you get the golden shield. When you get the golden shield, you will never have that shield removed again. You will never have to get another golden shield again. Well, you'll never get another shield, period. Because once the golden shield is there, the only thing that dig doggers can do is steal your bombs and rupees. And that's it. But there's a reason why I'm here in this area. Also, you might want to come here too, because there's also a heart piece around the area, but in actuality, there's something else. There is a place where a guy will give you advice. This guy right here, who looks like one of the targets from the shooting gallery. He'll tell you about the fairy that's in the Pyramid of Power, and that you're going to need the Super Bomb Boy in order for you to open that fairy pyramid, which we can't do until we beat the 5th palace. Oh, once we beat the 5th palace, all bets are off. Yeah, all the more reason why the game is encouraging you to do this in order. Alright. Don't even worry about those black rocks. You just needed to dash right there. You can also dash in this area too. So with that said, this is where the part where you can come in for the magic cape. You use the magic mirror here. And now you're going to use the Pegasus boots, because you can't really push it like talking about it. Goddamn pose. Never mind, we got it, we got it. And this is where the magic cape is. So in case anybody is wondering, here it is. Magic cape is going to be definitely a godsend for you when you're facing off against enemies. It's going to break the 6th palace in half. In fact, it's going to make the 6th palace's boss... Well, it'll break the 6th palace's boss in half. The 6th palace is still hard as hell. Or annoying as hell, if you will. There we go. Now we'll just have to go to the first one. And there's a reason for that. We need to actually go to Death Mountain in the Dark World. Because an item we need is there. So we're going to skip this part right here. And we went back into the Dark World. So, or we haven't yet, but now we are. So what we're going to have to do, we're just going to have to jump down this area here. And go into this room here. This looks daunting, this looks dangerous. It is, if you didn't have the half meter. And even then, it all depends on how quick you can run. And let's just try to navigate and not crash into anything. Because this looks like a long way, but it's not. Oh god, I got stuck. No, no! That last part always gets me. But thankfully, they're kind enough to refill your magic meter with the Cane of Burna. Now, for those who don't know what the Cane of Burna is, and I'll probably end up forgetting to use it, it's the Invincibility Cane. Although it's not necessarily me forgetting to use it, no. You see, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past DX has a problem with sound effects. See, the sound chip is a little bit terrible when it comes down to the DS. Even though they have some of the best soundtracks come from the not the DS, the Game Boy Advance, sorry. And that sound effect that you heard is literally the shovel sound effect used for the Cane of Furnace. So yeah, that's why I barely use it, because it gets annoying after a while. Anyway, time for us to head back over to area number 7 in the flute area. So with that said, we need to show off that extra area that we need to... Okay, not extra area, but rather the war point, so that way you won't have to go running over to Hyrule Castle every single time. Probably the only reason why I did, because it was a fairy pool right near my house. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, we're going to go this way. Oh god, I got blown up. Just another day in the life of... Ooh, shiny rock! Shiny rock! Let's just keep smacking it. We'll probably get some goodies. Yes! And we did! And now, we're here in the Dark World. Yeah, let's not stay in this area because you'll die. See those flying things? They do 2 hearts of damage. Everything here does 2 hearts minimum and a maximum 3 hearts. Well, that is until you get the blue tunic, which we haven't gotten to that part yet. So, with that said, we'll stop right over here, and we're going to use the magic mirror. And with that magic mirror in use, now we can go on ahead and move things over. And I'm going to use this powder. Damn it! Come on. Now we got ourselves a fairy. Good. Let's pull this over, and this is how we're going to actually gain full access to the Swamp Palace. That's all the more reason why I'm doing this, so that way Swamp Palace will be easy to traverse. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stop here, and in the next episode of Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past DX, we are going to... I'm gonna cry because my damn mouse is there, but we're gonna go and complete the Swamp Palace in Part 10. I said we were gonna do it in Part 9, but there was a lot of things to recover first before we did. This is RVMan985. Peace out, and take care. Good grief.